Okay, so 1.3 midpoint and distance formula. These are formulas. They are important. I would suggest you highlight them after we write them. Got me? Okay, so a blank of a segment is the point that divides the segment into blank segments. So it's a midpoint of a segment is the point that divides the segment into two congruent segments. Remember, objects are congruent, measurements are equal. So when I'm talking about just a segment, I'm going to use the word congruent. You guys will write the word congruent 1,000,000 times this year. 1,000,000. So the midpoint of PQ with point P being some xy and point Q being some xy. Okay, so those are the endpoints of the segment, is x sub 1 plus x sub 2 divided by 2, comma, do you see that comma? Y sub 2, nope, y sub 1, sorry, plus y sub 2 over 2. And if you notice, this is in parentheses. See that? So when you're done, you have an x, y that you can graph on a coordinate plane or just write. So, do you all know how to find an average of two numbers? If I asked you to average two numbers, wouldn't you add them together and divide them by 2? So look what we're doing. We're finding the average of the x's. We're adding them together, dividing by 2. And we're finding the average of the y's. You add them together, divide by 2. That is it. So the midpoint formula is this. And when you're done, you have just an xy. So we're going to do it. We got 2 points. We're going to do the midpoint. So if you want to put x1, x2, it really doesn't matter. This is addition. Just do it. Okay? So midpoint equals -2 plus 8 divided by 2, comma, 5. And I'm not going to put plus a negative. I'm just going to put a negative. Is that okay?
Wait, what?
The equation is plus, but 12 is a negative. So I'm just going to put 5 minus 12 instead of plus a minus. That's gross. Makes me a little sick. Okay, so -2 plus 8 is? 6. So 6 divided by 2 is? 3. -5 minus 12 is? -7 over 2. And you can leave it -7 over 2. Or if I'm trying to graph it, it might be more helpful to put it as what decimal? 3.5.
Yeah.
Okay, I am certainly fine. You can divide. 2 goes into 7 3 times, with anything divided by 2 is going to have 0.5, right? Okay, you are certainly fine leaving it like this. I am absolutely okay with that. The only reason I would put it into a decimal is if I had to graph it. If I don't have to graph it, I'm leaving it as -7/2. Ooh, does this, told you, don't lean back. Okay, so does it change just because I throw decimals in there? No. But I am going to tell you, if they have decimal answers, you're going to give me, obviously, the decimal answer, correct? Okay, so you want to try it on your own?
No. I mean, yes.
Set it up. Just try it. I'll give you a head start. So if you get stuck, you can look up. What's wrong? I hear you guys whispering.
I just wanted to know on the first one, is it, so obviously 2.5, but then I don't know, because like on the second one, I changed like the negative to like a plus, like, is that right? Or should I just?
I don't do that.
Okay.
Okay, they're both negative, so I should add them, yes?
I got 1.81.
No, because your leftover's 1, so it'd be 10, so 2 goes into 10 twice.
What?
So when you divide this, okay, when you divide this, 2 goes into 3 one time with 1 left over. So it makes it 17, which is 8, with 1 left over, but then you have a 0, so it's 5. So 1 is the remainder.
One left over is 5. What?
Because 2 goes into 17 how many times?
Oh, 10. Okay.
Yes.
See, I never knew you could do that.
Okay. Emma, did you figure that out?
Yeah.
Okay. So how'd that go? Had to remember how to borrow and all that kind of fun stuff, right?
So I got. Hold on.
When I do 3.8 plus 9, I get 4.5.
Well, 7 plus 3 is 10.
7 plus 3.
7 plus 3 is 10. When you add decimals, you line up place values? Yes? Good? Okay, I'm a little scared. Okay, other than the basic math stuff, do you have the midpoint?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I am going to tell you, if you guys want to check your work with a calculator, you're more than welcome, but on tests, you don't usually have a calculator. Okay? So I would not be at home doing all this math, because if we don't use it up our brain, we lose it, right? So you can check your answers with the calculator. I don't have a problem with that, but I would highly encourage you not to just do your math with the calculator. Okay, we're going to skip the bottom part for now. Turn it over. Okay. It says the blank D between 2 points P and Q is, okay, this is the distance D. D is the abbreviation. A lowercase d is what we use. That's the variable we use to show distance. Okay? Between 2 points, P and Q is, and how we write that is D parentheses PQ. And sometimes you can write D and then PQ if it is a segment. You can write it like that as well. As it says the distance of PQ is the square root, big square root, of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. Okay, so this is the distance formula. You need to know it. You need to know the midpoint formula. You need to know the distance formula. Don't forget about the square root.
Huh?
Don't forget about the square root. So you're going to have lots of radicals and things. Okay? Quick refresher. What is the square root of 4? 2. So the square root of 4 is 2. Not the square root of 2, is it? Because I'm going to see, I see that all the time. Square root of 8.
4.
Nope.
Wait.
Ooh, it's 2 to the third.
It's 4. It's 2 to the third, but it's 4 times 2, yes? Is 8 4 times 2?
Yeah.
What's the square root of 4? 2. And square root of 2 isn't anything, right? So it's 2 square root of 2. You did this last year lots. Okay? Yes, you did. Square root of 3. Does it have one? No. 3 is 1 times 3. There's nothing to break down, is there? Okay? Square root of 12. Think of the perfect squares in there. That's why you should know your squares and cubes. Is there a perfect square times something to get 12?
No.
3 times 4, right? So it's the square root of 4 times 3. Well, what's the square root of 4? 2. Square root of 3 have a square root?
No.
So it's 2 square root of 3. Okay, so those are how I expect answers written, not pull out your calculator and give me a decimal. Okay? Simplest radical form. So, a pitcher throws the ball to a batter who, that should be who, forgot the H, huh? Hits the ball to the shortstop. Okay, so the batter hits it to the shortstop. If the ball travels in a straight line between each, what is the total distance the ball traveled by the ball? So the ball left the pitcher first, right? And then it went to the batter, and then went to the shortstop. Now this says round your answer to the nearest tenth of a foot. So that means my final answer, I need to use a calculator, doesn't it? Okay. So, first of all, we probably know, these are points, aren't they? This X and these Y's, aren't they points? So I need to find the what of these things? The points. Okay, so what's the point of the pitcher? 5, 5. Everyone agree? So, pitcher is 5, 5. So 5, 5. The batter? 1, 1. And the shortstop. 5, 10. Okay, why did I use P, B, and S? To label it. Makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, you have your equation. I'm going to have to move my paper up so you can see my writing. Like, see what I'm writing. So I need to figure out I need the distance from P to B, right? And I need the distance from,
This was PQ.
No, it's bad.
we're going from the pitcher to the batter. P and Q are just some arbitrary points.
Oh, it's like random.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I need it from the pitcher to the batter. And then what?
Batter to
The batter to the shortstop. And then what am I going to do with those two things? Add them. So I'll take distance of PB plus the distance of BS gives me the total. Yes? So is that my plan? Yep. Okay, so I'm going to use my formula. So my formula says the square root. So x minus x. It honestly doesn't matter. Like when we do slope and we do y minus y, does it matter which is y1 and y2? No, it doesn't matter, but you have to be consistent, correct? So which point do you want to use as the second one? The batter, since it's listed second?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be 1 minus 5 squared plus y minus y. So 0 minus 5
Yeah.
squared.
Oh, I thought batter was 1-1.
Better is one.
Oh, I put 1 0. You guys didn't catch me. So this is a 0, a 1, and a 0. This is why you take notes in pencil and not pen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to set up the next one. We're simplifying in a second, but I want you to try to set up the batter to the shortstop.
Sorry, over there.
Did you set it up okay?
Oh, I did it, Miss Moon.
Okay. Could I have done 1 minus 5 squared plus 1 minus 10 squared?
Yeah.
Yep. It doesn't matter. Okay, so let's go back up to the pitch. Anybody have a question on that one? I don't want to leave anybody out. Okay, so we're pitcher batter and we're going to simplify. So 1 minus 5 is -4 squared. Have to put parentheses around that, right? Plus 1 minus 5 is -4 squared. Well, -4 squared is not -16. It'd be -4 times -4. Since it's in parentheses, it's -4 times -4. If it was out of parentheses, it would be -16. Okay? So I get 16 plus what? 16. Which gives me the square root of 32. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay? So, we need to break down. We're going to practice breaking down. We'll put it in a calculator eventually, but we're going to practice breaking it down right now. What is the square root of 32? What's a perfect square in 32? 8 times 4. 16. Didn't we just take 16 times 2 basically to get 32?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is 16 and 2. So what's the square root of 16? 4. And there isn't a square root of 2, is there? Not a nice one. So it's 4 square root of 2. So if you find those bigger things, now if we would have done 8 and 4, like Caleb said, we'd have had 8 and 4, then we'd have to break down 8, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
So I'd have 2, 4, and 4. So I could bring out a 4 and have a 2 left in. Right?
You just probably go with the biggest one that you can.
Yeah, try to go the biggest one you can, but sometimes we can only do 4. You know. Okay, so you guys want to try the next one on your own? Okay. Go for it.
What information? I don't know what goes with 97.
I'm thinking, cause like I try 9. Obviously 2. Nothing even goes in there, right?
3?
If okay, so if you what?
I get lost when you do 16 plus 81.
Oh yeah, you got it, but then I don't know what to do after that.
You can't- what- How I got 81?
No idea how you do that, then I don't know how you use square roots.
Okay, that's what I'm going over. I'm going over it. We're trying to break it down. Hadley, what was yours? Question. I don't get where you're getting lost. You know how to get 81, right?
Yeah, and I don't mind it.
Right.
That's how you do
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. I was confused. Okay, so we know nothing even goes into 97, correct? Okay, so Autumn said, well, what about 3? So the divisibility rule for 3, but we don't really want 3, we want 9, don't we? Okay, so the divisibility rule is you add up the digits, and if 9 goes into what you get, 9 goes into it. Well, 9 plus 7 is 16. Does 9 go into 16? No, so 9 doesn't go into it. I'm going with, I think 97 is a prime number. What do you guys think?
Yeah, probably.
If anything, it'd be like, I guess it could be 13 or 19, right?
As well.
Couldn't it be? Because it ends in a 7. Isn't 9 times 3, 27?
Yeah.
Okay, so you could check. So 97 divided by 13, nope. 97 divided by 19, nope. Okay, I don't think we're hitting 29. At there, I think you're fair bet to just say it's prime. Okay, so now my work said what? What am I going to do? What's my plan? Add those two together. So I have 2 square, nope. I have 4 square root of 2, yes. Plus the square root of 97.
Yeah.
So hopefully you remember from before now that I cannot add these two because they're not the same, are they?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm stuck. Without a calculator, that would be my final answer. Okay, without a calculator, that would be my final answer, and I'd put feet or whatever. I don't even know if they told us feet, did it? Yeah, it says foot. It says nearest tenth of a foot. So the directions say nearest tenth of a foot, so I need to put it in my calculator. Autumn, please don't tip the chair. Okay. So I just put mine up here. And you put it in there exactly how you see it. 4 and the square root. There's a little square root button right here. See that square root? And it's blue, so I got to push the blue button. Square root, bless you, of 2 plus, and I'm going to hit square root again. Oops. 4 square root of 2. In this calculator, and I think in the other little ones, you see how it's still the square root's still going? You got to arrow out of that so it stops it. And then plus the square root of 97. So the nearest tenth would be 15.5. So this is approximately, so we put the little squigglies. Why is it approximately? Because we're doing what? Rounding. 15.5 feet. Now,
I don't know how to make a square root.
no, because you took the square root. Okay, if you guys want to use a calculator like this at home, you can do on your phone, you can write this down, and you can go get it. It's for free. It looks like this. It's Calculate 84, if you want to write that down. There's other ones, like there's this Calculator X. Ugh. Does anyone got a Android in here? Any Android phones? Because if you do, there's one that's really good too. Okay, so Calculate 84 is exactly this calculator. See that? So I had 4, the square root of 2, and I've got an arrow out of it, plus the square root of 97. Okay, so at home you're more than welcome to use that. Obviously you couldn't use your phone on a test or anything. We do also have the little yellow ones that you've used before in here that you can use in here. And the square root here is just right here. So you would have 4, oh, probably have to turn it on, huh? 4 square root, not second, square root of 2. And this one, you also, see how that square root's continuing?
Yeah.
You have to arrow out of it. If not, watch. If I don't arrow out of it, what did happen?
It adds it.
And I'm not taking the square root of 97, am I? No. So I have to do 4 square root of 2, arrow out, plus the square root of 97. And I better get 15.5 again. Okay? So in here, I don't care if you use either one of these yellow ones. I would just go ahead and use this one if you're in here, just because it makes it nice, because you learn how to use it sooner. Finding stuff. Okay, so we got another one. We're going to use the same picture. Says, how far does the shortstop need to throw the ball to get it, to reach first base? And I think I want you to do that on your own. So, how far does he have to throw it to get from the shortstop to the first base? So the first thing you want to do is make your points. So you're not having to keep looking at your picture, because if you keep looking at your picture, you're probably going to mess up your points at some point. You guys far enough ahead I could start? And you don't have to look up. This is just for anybody who gets a little stuck.
Wait, so we're looking at like little black dots is what they are?
Say that again.
So our little black dots mark.
Oh, thank you. I did the name and not, like, I stopped at the name
Yes.
and not that, yes, the dot is correct.
Bad or wrong. It would be,
Oh, we did do bad or wrong, but we're not going to go change it now. We did do, because, look, guys, we went from the name batter, but where's the point?
0, 0.
0-0.
Oh,
I was
so
just looking at it and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm confused.
And I did the same. When we did first base, I stopped at the name. So go to the
So
points.
0, 10.
Yeah. 10-0, you mean? Yeah, we're not going to go back and fix that, but yes, it should have been 0-0 for batter. That would have made the math a little easier, wouldn't it? It's good for us. Where?
At the equals 125 squared, like the square root of 125,
Mm-hmm.
where'd you get 25 and 5?
Is it 125, 25 times 5?
Oh, yeah. So do you just like,
So I took the square root of 25, which is 5,
yeah.
and then the square root of 5. I didn't write it, but it's still in the square root. That's still in the square root. So the square root of 25 is 5, and there's a 5 left in the square root.
Okay.
Sometimes I don't write all my brain on the paper, so you guys gotta ask. Jaden, what's wrong? What's wrong? Because you're giving me this face. How'd you do?
Okay, wait, so then where'd you get 11.2?
The calculator.
I don't know.
I get out 37.
What?
47, I think.
Don't worry about it. We get out when the bell rings. Okay, Jaden, where were you confused?
Nowhere now, I know what I did.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you get there, I'm concerned about this. Everyone should be able to put in a calculator, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So how did that go? Good. Okay, so this is what your assignment is. On that sheet that I gave you. Okay? On the sheet that was passed around. The reteach
We don't have
and additional practice. Where did it stop? Well, you guys got to keep passing them. Hand it over. Hurry up. Hand it over. No. Okay. No, I started it over here.
Not notes. The one you passed around.
What, this is, yeah, this is,
need one.
you need one? Okay, this is going to be in your notes eventually. Why? Look at reteach. Because it what? Does it have an example? Yeah. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. You're going to do on the reteach, the front. You're going to do number 2. Okay, and on this has midpoint, and it has midpoint, and you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Got it? And where are you going to get A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, and P? Right up here. Okay? Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, and number 1, what's it want you to do?
Find the length of each segment.
Okay, so you're going to do 1 also. Now, some of these you don't have to. From A to B, do I have to do the formula? No, I can count it. From B to C, do I have to do the formula? No, I can count it. It's on a straight line, right? But what about from C to D?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay? If you want to work on another piece of paper, that's completely fine. It might be some more organization there. So 1 and 2 is your homework.